So today I'm gonna start the Mughal Empire, one of the greatest empire comes in medieval Indian history, and and this is the second empire in the medieval Indian history. Before this, we had a Delhi Sultanate. Okay, total five sultanates have ruled over Delhi, India before Mughal, and these guys actually we call them as the Mongolians. They came from Central Asia and they invaded India, and these guys defeated the last ruler of Delhi Sultanate, and they established their empire in India. Okay, so let's begin. First, we will see what all are the who all are the important rulers of this dynasty. 1 minute, guys. I have some light problem. I'll arrange it and I'll do it. Okay, in order to learn this Mughal Empire, so mainly we divide the rulers into two parts. Early Mughal empires, then later Mughal empires. So, but later Mughal empires, there is no, we don't have much importance, because so in the later Mughal empires they are not strong, because they have been under the control of Marathas and all those things. So, and we don't have any much important contribution we have got it from those guys. So mainly we have to cover, if you want to uh, clear this Mughal empire chapter. So empire, mainly we cover, look after the uh, early Mughal empire rulers. So first person is Babur. Babur, the first ruler of Mughal empire is Babur. Then after this Babur, we find a rule of his son Humayun. Then after Humayun, the important ruler who is son of Humayun only, Akbar. Akbar. And after Akbar, most importantly, we have Jahangir. Either you can write Jahingir, Jahangir. And after Jahangir, we have Shahjahan, son of Jahangir, Shahjahan. And then finally we have the sixth person, that is Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb. Okay. These are the six important rulers we are going to cover in this chapter. First guy is Babur. First guy is Babur. The second one is Humayun. Sorry. Okay. Babur, and his son Humayun. Then we have Akbar, important candidate. Earlier name is Jalaluddin, that we will see. Then we have Jahangir. Then we have Shahjahan, the one who built Agra, Taj Mahal. Then we have Aurangzeb, one who faced continuous wars with the Indian greatest empire, Marathas, especially This is the person who did lot of battles with the Marathas, Aurangzeb. So, firstly, the Mughal Empire, what we have, this Mughal Empire, is actually established in India in 1526 after the result of Panipat War. Actually, what happened? So, the last ruler of India, before this Mughal Empire, so in India, India was under the rule of Delhi Sultanate. Delhi Sultanate was ruling India. In that, the last ruler of Delhi Sultanate is Ibrahim Lodi. Ibrahim Lodi was ruling India. So, Ibrahim Lodi. Okay. So here what happened actually, this Babur, what we this guy, actually he was ruling. He was ruling area of Kabul, that is Paragan. He was a king of Paragana, which is a small city of in small city in Afghanistan, near Kabul, near Kabul. When he was ruling here, actually he was not intended to come to India. He just so he's just this guy was just a looter. So he used to invade some places and he used to loot the things, and he used to take the peoples as his slaves, and he used to go back to his position only. He was just looter. He was not intended to establish any empire in India, and he was not looking after India also. But what happened here actually, why he invaded India, how he established his empire, Mughal Empire in India, is because there was a rivalry was going between, not actually rivalry, it is kind of jealous action was happening between in the brothers of Delhi Sultanates. Let's say, so Delhi was under the rule of, as I told you, Delhi Sultanate. Let me clear the things so that we'll get some. Okay, let's see the story. Actually, Delhi was under the rule of Sultanate Ibrahim Lodi. He had his brother. This guy had his brother called Daulat Khan Lodi. Daulat Khan Lodi. Daulat Khan Lodi. He has been appointed. He was appointed as a governor of Lahore. Okay. So, but the thing is here, the Daulat Khan actually he wanted to become. So Daulat Khan was looking after the place of his brother. Actually, he wanted to become the Sultanate of. He wanted to rule Delhi. But what happened here? His brother Ibrahim Lodi was ruling. He was a king of Delhi, and he appointed his brother as a governor of Lahore. And because of that, the Daulat Khan was not happy with the governor position. He wanted to become Sultanate here, Sultan of the Delhi. So for that, what happened at the same time? At the same time, what happened? So Daulat Khan heard about this Lotera Babur. He was very famous at that time. The Babur was very famous a Lutera. Babur was a very famous looter. His name has spreaded all over Central Asia, because this guy used to invade different parts, used to invade the different kingdoms, and he used to grab the wealth over there. He didn't establish his rule anywhere. After winning the battle, he used to loot the wealth and he used to go back. So he was just a lutera, and he heard about this guy, Daulat Khan. He heard about this guy. He thought that so I will do one thing. I will invite Babur to attack Delhi. So once Babur will attack on Delhi, if he defeats Ibrahim Lodi, and he will loot the wealth and he will go back. Once he will go back, I can become a sultan of Delhi. So by thinking like that, this guy, Daulat Khan, what he did actually, this Daulat Khan wrote a letter to this Lutera. Okay, what he did, he wrote a letter to this Babur Lutera, historians call. Okay, Babur, saying that Mr. Babur, please, so you invade Delhi, so with your army, I'll also support with my army to you, so that we can establish empire, we can establish our rule in Delhi. So as Babur got the invitation from the Daulat Khan, so by actually normally basically he was a looter, right? So he just eagerly waiting for that. Because before this, Babur, before this he tried to invade for 4 times. Actually, he invaded India for 5 times. In the 5th time, he gets succeeded to establish his rule in India. That what happened, we will see. Okay, before this 5th attempt, actually he looted India and he was not able to establish his rule, and he went back. Okay, one time you want know, Mongolians kept on attacking on India. Chengiz Khan, we may see. So this person has also tried to attack India, but he has been defeated by the Delhi Sultanate called Iltutmish. Mongolians were kept on trying to invade India, but they have been stopped by the Delhi Sultanate. And this Babur also tried to invade India, but he has been stopped in his previous 4 attempts. Once he got invitation from the Daulat Khan, the Governor General of Lahore, so he got encouraged and he attacked on, with the help of the Daulat Khan, he attacked on Delhi Sultanate, that is Ibrahim Lodi, in Panipat. It's the name of a place, Panipat. So in Panipat, Babur attacked on Ibrahim Lodi. With the help of Daulat Khan. So in this war, what happened? So Babur won the battle. And Ibrahim Lodi has been killed in the hands of. So Ibrahim Lodi has been got killed. So Ibrahim Lodi got killed in the hands, of this Babur. So later, what happened? Daulat Khan was waiting. This guy Babur may go in 1 month, 2 month, 3 month. But what happened? This Babur actually came from very dry area, Afghanistan, Kabul. It is completely a dry area. when he came to India and when he invaded India and when become as the king of Delhi, and the environment Delhi was very cold and it is very good. Suppose now if you guys goes to Switzerland, so nobody will to come back to India because the environment of Switzerland is very good now. If you go to Switzerland, I hope I'll assure you that you will never wish to come back to India. So same thing happened with the Babur here also. When he came to India, actually he was thinking to loot India only. He was thinking to attack on Delhi. If I won, I will just loot the wealth and I will come back. By thinking like that, with the help of Daulat Khan, he attacked on Delhi and he defeated and he killed Ibrahim Lodi, the king of the Sultan of Delhi. So, but later he was Babur got adjusted environment of Delhi, and he liked the Delhi environment, and he was not willing to go back. So he Babur kept on ruling for 4 years. Babur kept on ruling for 4 years from 1526. So he established his Mughal Empire from the Delhi, and he ruled till 1530. So I hope you guys here the plan of Daulat Khan get failed because of the environment of Delhi. If the environment of Delhi was also if it was like Afghanistan only, Babur would have gone back. But because of the Delhi environment, the idea of Daulat Khan was get failed, and the Babur established his rule. Anyhow, he didn't had that much of guts to face this guy, and he kept quiet. He kept quiet at that time. So later is the history. Mughal Empire nearly they ruled India for many years. So mainly the strong rulers of Mughals were ruled from 1526 to 1707. So this is the last. Aurangzeb will die in 1707. So this is the period of strong rulers of Mughals ruled India. After that, they still ruled in 17 till the rule of Mughal Empire was there in till 1765. But these whatever the rulers we are going to see in this period 1700 to 1765, they were very weak and they were under the control of Maratha kings, some other kings, etc., etc. So there is no importance because they were not ruling whole India. But these guys, what we see, the rulers who comes between this region, this range 1526 AD to 1707 AD, all of them were strong rulers, and they ruled they ruled almost whole India. They ruled whole India. Okay, that's why. So in the history, we gave importance for the early Mughal rulers. So I already gave you who all are the important rulers. This is the Babur, and then we have Humayun, then we have Akbar, then we have Jahangir, then we have Shahjahan, then we have the last Aurangzeb who died in 1707. After that, we see Akbar, we saw Akbar to Shahjahan to okay, and we saw Jahangir, three, etc., etc. So many kings we came across. That you just don't worry about, and it is not important for any competitive examination also. In competitive examinations like SSCs, UPSCs, KPSCs, state board exams, in all the exams, the early Mughal rulers, what I told you, I just listed you some few rulers, right? Those all are important here. If you study about those rulers of Mughal empires, that much is enough to counter attack the questions of any competitive exams. Okay, let's see one more time who all are the rulers, the strongest rulers of this Mughal empire. I hope you understood the previous story, how the establishment of Mughal empire happened. But I missed one thing, right? I kept on using a word called Lotera Babar. So he is not an Pakistan player named Babar Azam. Okay. So actually, the Babar uh, is came from, I told you, right, Paragon. So let's see some information of information about this guy Babar. Actually, what happened, right? This Babar, actually, what happened? There is a place called Paragon. Either you can write Pharagan, or you can also write this one like a Faragan, Faragan. So this is a very small city of Afghanistan. So this city was ruled by a king called as Umar Sheikh. Umar Sheikh. Umar Sheikh. He is the person. He is the father of Babur. He was the father. Okay, then what happened here? He was the king who was ruling this small area. When Babur was 11 year old, so Umar Sheikh died. After the death of Umar Sheikh, Babur became a king of this Paragon, but he was a child, so he was not able to handle it. Means will it is usual thing. If a child is ruling a king, what happens? Our prime minister, the king, prime minister of that king itself, or some other kingdoms, nearby kingdoms, they'll start attacking on it. So the same thing happened here also, and they overtook, they dethroned Babur, and they made Babur to go out of Paragon along with his followers. So once Babur comes out, and he started with along his followers, he lived a nomadic life. Nomadic life means because he didn't had anything, right? He was not a king. He didn't had any house, any area to stay, nothing at all. So just he was moving from one place to another place in search of jobs. He just was moving, and so along with that, what he did, he actually was this Babur was very what we call Asha Jivi. In Kannada we can say, but in English I am not getting a word, so I'm sorry for that. So for that, when we was living his nomadic life, when before attaining the age of 14 or 15, he arranged an army of 4,000 soldiers armies. Okay, he arranged an army of strength 4,000 soldiers, and he is the first person to use the cannons. And his war tactic is also very beautiful. Because of his war tactic, he started getting success in looting different nearby kingdoms. So because of that, he has become very famous. His name has spreaded into all over the Central Asia. So at the same time, Daulat Khan heard his name, and he invited him to attack on Delhi. That is the rest is the story I just told you. Okay, if we want to talk about the Babur's war tactic, suppose this is your enemy army is standing here, and here we have a Babur's army. What he used to do, actually, he used to dig this earth, and he used to place his cannons like this. So only cannons were coming out of the earth, and he used to make his soldiers to hide over here in the dig. Okay, so then he will start attacking on the opposite army with the cannons. So because of this tactic, and he was the first person to use the cannon, and because of his this beautiful idea, and he started getting victories. He started getting victories. and he started become very strong and strong, because he started looting the wealth from different parts and different kingdoms. So he become very strong, financially. Okay, as if a person becomes very strong financially, what happens? Suppose if I get 1 crore rupees, what I will do? I'll start building I'll start purchasing the properties, I'll start purchasing cars and all those things. I'll start becoming very famous, right? So if money is there, we can do anything. We'll start doing the different activity. As he started getting a lot of wealth, so he started becoming very strong and strong. At the same point of time, he got invitation from the Daulat Khan. Then he attacked on the Delhi Sultanate Ibrahim Lodi in place of Panipat, uh, with the help of Daulat Khan, and he gets succeeded to defeat Ibrahim Lodi. So then he was affectionated, and he got attracted with the Delhi's environment, and he never went back to his Kabul, and he established his empire in India. Okay, this is how the Mughal Empire has been settled in India, and mainly after that, in the span I told you, right, this guy is ruled Mughal Empire from 1526 to 1513. Just his rule was just a span of 4 years. Within the span of 4 years, he undergone a lot of wars with the nearby kingdoms, and even he got succeeded. So, and he established a very strong base for the Mughal Empire in India. Let's see what all of the things happened with the Babur. Okay, this is where how we the original name of Babur. Actually, it's a short name I have used. Here you can see the full name of the Babur is Muhammad Jahiruddin Babur. Muhammad Jahiruddin Babur. Actually, he was born in 14th February 1483. At 14th, no, see here, this is Lovers' Day, Valentine's Day. This guy was born in Valentine's Day, and that's why he was actually special guy. That's why he was able to establish his Mughal role in India. Even you know, right? One of the greatest warrior, Chengiz Khan, is failed to establish his rule in India. Okay, and the Mongolian invader, is the next person to the greatest invaders of the world. If you want to learn, the first person is Alexander. Next we are going to hear this guy name only, Chengiz Khan. But this guy is failed to establish his rule because he has been defeated in the hands of Iltutmish. Okay, he was not able to invade India, but his followers, this I told you, right, this guy Babur, actually these guys are the followers of this dynasty only, Chengiz Khan followers only. This is the person, see, by looking after his date of birth only we can feel that is not a part of history. You cannot, that is not documentary, it is. Okay, just see, his date of birth is 14th February 1483. He was born in Paragon. See, you can write Paragon in both the cases like this. You can use F or you can use PH. From the Kabul. Okay, it's Kabul, is now it is capital city of Afghanistan. Paragon was a small city present in the Kabul district, and his father name is Umar Sheikh Mirza II. Umar Sheikh Mirza II, and he was ruling this Paragon. Okay, and this guy, after the death of Umar Sheikh Mirza, Babur became a king, and this Babur became a king in the year of when he was at 11-year old. When he was at 11-year old, he became a king. So because of his a child, so he has been dethroned and he has been thrown out of the Paragon. So he spent his nomadic life for many years, and in that I told you all the stories. Okay, and his mother name is Nigar Khanum. If you want to pronounce, you can say Kutul Nigar Khanum. Okay, so here we have. The so Kutul Nigar Khanam is his mother name. Okay, and I already told you the story what happened, so that you can say, so this guy Babur, we can call him as a founder of Mughal Empire. As I told you, right, before 1526 he tried to invade India and he was not able to establish. He just invaded India and he looted the wealth and he went back, but he didn't establish his ruler. So one example I can give you, in 1519, before 1526, that means 7 years before only, he invaded India of a place called Behra, which is a small district or a small city in Rajasthan. It is present in Rajasthan. So in 1519 only he invaded and he looted this area and he went back to his place. At that time he didn't establish his rule, because we may it may be a reason of environment of Rajasthan. This is also exactly looks like Afghanistan. Here in Rajasthan also we find lot of deserts. Maybe he may be because of that only he maybe went back. He was not he didn't establish that. So I told you all these stories, right? How come I know this? Because all these stories were written by Babar itself in his autobiography called Babarnama. Here, here, this what we have, right? Babarnama. In his autobiography, he wrote this. I'm not saying that he wrote that. His court poet wrote it, because this Babar is illiterate. He was not studied. I told you, right? In the 11th year itself, his father died and he has been thrown out of the city. Then how can he pursue his education? How can he pursue? He is a illiterate guy. He can't write anything. So, but his one of the court poet will come to see who wrote this Babarnama, and everything we will learn. Okay. So when we start studying about the contributions of the Mughal empires. So Babarnama is autobiography of about Babar only. So in this autobiography was written in Turkish language. So by his court poets. Especially I will tell you, only 5% of the books. See this guy. Only 5% of the books. 5% of the books were written in Turkish language. Only 5%. That means you can say this Turkish language is not an official language, but the official language of this guy's official language of Mughal is Parsi, you can say, because okay. And in his same book, Babur called himself as a Turk, because they actually these guys are came from Afghanistan region, but still they called themselves as a Turkish. Babur called himself as a Turk, even though they came from Afghanistan, but still they called themselves as a Turks. Okay. So these guys are not came from Turkmenistan, Istanbul, and all, and those areas. Still, they call themselves as a Turks. We should follow, because we don't have any evidence. What all are the things they have said, right? That the same thing only we are following. We should believe that also. Everything which is there in this his autobiography. This guy only told all of these information. So we have to believe that. Okay. So I hope you understood about all these things now. Let's see. So what happened after becoming a king? Okay, and this MD Zahiruddin Babar conducted so many almost importantly, I would like to say here, four important wars. Four important wars. First war, as you know already, Panipat War. Panipat. I'll just write down all the wars. And the second war, Kanwa War. Kanwa. Third war, Chanderi War. And fourth war, Ghagra War. So you already know Panipat happened in 1526 BC. It has happened in 1526 AD, or you can say BC. So Kanwa War happened in 1527, immediately after establishing. In just a span of 1 year, he undergone war in Kanwa, and immediately after the Kanwa War in 1528 he undergone Chanderi War, and immediately after that he undergone war at Gagra. Okay, here you guys already know that Panipat War especially so happened between let me take a different color, let me change my color of my pen. So let's take green color, purple color, yes, let's write. Okay, Panipat War you already know. This has happened with Ibrahim Lodi. Was the last Sultan of Delhi Sultanate. Okay, Ibrahim Lodi. So in this war what happened, Ibrahim Lodi got defeated and he has been killed in the hands of Babur. This has happened between Ibrahim Lodi and Babur. So Babur defeated this guy and he killed this guy with the help of the Daulat Khan Lodi, the brother of Ibrahim Lodi and the governor of Lahore. That is what happened. The result of the Panipat War you can easily say Panipat first war it is. Panipat first. There are two wars, Panipat 1 and Panipat 2. You will see about Panipat War 2 also. Okay, that we will see in this chapter only. You are going to come across it. Okay, this is the Panipat War. Panipat means it's a name of a area where this battle between Ibrahim Lodi and Babur has took place for the first time. So that's why we call it as a Panipat War 1. Panipat War 1 is happened between Ibrahim Lodi of Delhi Sultanate and Babur of Paragon King. So in this what happened, Babur defeated this guy and he established the Mughal Empire in Delhi in India 1526. And after that he met in a war. He faced an army of this Babur, and the second one I told you, right? In 1527 he faced a war at Kanwa with Rana Sangha. In some textbook they have given the name of this guy as a Rana Sangram. Okay, but you should remember this Rana Sangh. Okay, in this war this guy in all of these four battles also Akbar won this and he established a very strong Mughal Empire base in India. And this war Rana Sangh has got defeated and his kingdom was added to Mughal Empire. After that, in the next year only, immediately he attacked on Chanderi. It's a name of a place which was under the rule of Rai. Medini Rai. So, which was under the rule of Medini Rai. So, in this, I hope you already. In Chanderi War, he defeated Medini Rai and he expanded his kingdom. So after winning of Panipat war, he established his kingdom in 1526. In the immediately after the next year only, he attacked on Rana Sangha of Kanwa and he defeated him and he established his treaty again territory. And then he attacked on Chanderi and he defeated the king of Chanderi called Medini Rai, and he again still he expanded his territory. Then after that he attacked on Gagra. So here in Gagra he faced the Afghan forces. Afghan forces. He faced Afghan forces here, and he also get succeeded to win this battle. Also. He also won this battle. Okay, he faced Afghan forces and he won this battle. So in 1526 his rule started, and his rule ends at 1530 because with some normal basic things. He didn't died in any war, and there is no tragedy behind his death. In 1530 he died due to normal death. It was a normal death actually. It is not a suicide, it is not a murder and everything. It's normal death due to problems, physical problems, health problems. He died. So and after the death of this Babur, first what they did actually, so they buried him in Agra, the place where they buried his body in Agra is called as Arambad. Arambad is a part of Agra. So initially they buried his dead body over there. So they built a tomb over there. Usually we see that. So whatever the tombs we have like this, Bijapur tomb, okay, whatever the tombs we have, right, all the tombs are called the tombs are built for are called this one only. So they used to bury and they used to construct a tombs over there. Okay, for that they buried in Agra of Arambad. So they have constructed the tomb over there. Tomb. The Babur tomb in India is present in Arambad of or Agra. Later what they did, they took that body, they took back that body and they took that body to Afghanistan. In Kabul they buried that body again, and because of that the presently the tomb of Babur is present in Kabul. If suppose if you may get question here in SSC or in any competitive exams or for your boards, so where is the tomb of Kabul? If you get like this question, simple question, if they ask you simply where is the tomb of Babur, so you can say it is present in Kabul. If they simply ask you where is the tomb of Babur, you can say this. But if they ask you, but if they ask you to tell where is the tomb of Babur in India, if they ask you to the tomb Babur tomb in India, TOMB tomb in India, then you can say the tomb of Babur in India is present in Agra. Exactly location Arambad. I hope you understand about this Babur. Nothing else is there, and all these information we have got it from the autobiography of Babur. I hope you guys understood till now. Okay, I will give you 2 minutes of time. Just go through it, and if you have any doubts, please ask me. I'll try to clarify it. Okay, guys, you may find some spelling mistakes. I request you guys to correct those by looking after your textbooks. So because in the hurry we may, while preparing a presentation, we may have committed these mistakes. Now I can't say it. If you want, this Humayun is like this. Okay, you just look after the spellings. So I might have committed some mistakes, and you have to after this video, after this class, and please I'll request you to verify the dates also, because in hurry we may use wrong dates. Okay, so once I hope you the I hope I'll uh, I'll assure you that 95% of the slides will be right only, but still after the class you have to verify the dates and the spellings of these terms names. Okay, so because these are the Muslim names, so we will definitely commit some mistakes in the spellings. Okay, after the class please go through just once you do the cross checking. Okay, next, after the death of Babur in 1530, Babur has died. So immediately after his death, his son Humayun became a king of a Maratha empire. And you can see here his rule. He ruled. His rule has been divided into two parts. Sorry. His rule is divided into two parts. First, in first term, he ruled Mughal Empire, India, from 1530. His rule started from 1530 and he ruled till 1540. Let's say it is 1540 for 10 years. So his father ruled for only 4 years. After that, after the death of Babur, he became a king and he ruled Mughal Empire for 10 years. After that, you can see here there is a huge gap of a 15 years gap. You can see that is a blank. So in the during 1540 to 1555, we can clearly say that there is no Mughal Empire. Mughal Empire was not present in India because it has been uh, dethroned. It has been removed from the Afghan invader Sher Shah Suri. Okay, there is in about Humayun. So Humayun's life, he struggled a lot in his life. He struggled a lot. His story is very beautiful. He struggled a lot in his life. Okay, so first what we will do, we will just have a look on these two things. This guy Humayun constructed a city called Deepanath city, and he constructed a library. This is a library, Sheri Mandal library. Okay, so next, importantly, we'll see his battles, because we already know he's a son of Babur, and we don't need to worry about his things. Because why we had a look after the backstory of the Babur, because he was the first person to establish Mughal Empire. We should know about his story. So now the already empire has established. After the death, he become a king, and we know he is the son of this guy. And here, so importantly, if we talk about his achievements, the first war, that is Debra war. So I told you right in the 15 when he became a king, I told you this guy faced a lot of problems in his life. His throat lifespan, he faced a lot of problems. He was completely under the problem. So when he became a king, immediately he faced a war with the Sher Shah Suri. Okay, triple S, Sher. Why it is Sher, I will tell you. Sher Shah. Shah means king. So Suri is a dynasty name. Okay, so he got this title. Actually, his name is different. This is his title. After defeating this guy, we can find here. This is Humayun, a great personality. See how he is looking like. So a very great person. So after defeating this person, he took this title. So later on, his name, this is his name become. Okay, Sher Shah Suri, triple S, you can say. The first battle at Debra, Battle of Debra, which is which took place in the 1531. See here, in 1530 he took a throne. So immediately after 1 year, he faced an Sher Shah Suri army. In this, Humayun gets succeeded. Humayun gets succeeded to defeat Sher Shah Suri. So this person won the battle. Which battle? Humayun won the Debra battle. Debra battle. Okay, this Debra battle actually happened between Humayun and Sher Shah Suri. And I'll assure you guys, you don't get any information about Debra war in anywhere. Even it is not there in Google also. But it is very important. You should remember. And I think it is not present in your textbook also. So just keep this in. This is very, very important. So Humayun defeated this guy, Sher Shah Suri. So then after that, what happened? Again this Sher Shah Suri. So after the defeating this guy, Humayun, what he did? He constructed a city called as Depnath city. Then in the same city he constructed Sher-e-Mandal library. And in the lot of textbooks you can find that the Sher-e-Mandal is constructed by Sher Shah Suri. But so we don't have any evidence for saying that this is constructed by Sher Shah Suri, because Sher Shah Suri was illiterate. He was also not a literate guy, illiterate. So illiterate person, how can you expect a library from an illiterate person, right? You can't expect library from illiterate person. This is the first reason why I am saying Sher Shah Suri is not constructed this Sher-e-Mandal library. And the second reason is, why he going to construct libraries and cities, all those things in his enemy's area, right? Definitely, right? In some textbook they have given that. So but the original thing is, it is the debatable one. It is debatable, and you don't get these kind of questions in any kind of examination, because so any conflict answers are there. If there is any debatable things are there, the boards will not ask those questions, because few guys will write Sher Shah Suri and few guys will write Humayun, right? So in that case, so we cannot judge which answer is right, because the answer itself is under the conflict. So definitely you don't get. But according to me, I say that Sher-e-Mandal library was built by Humayun only, because Humayun had some education, and with that evidence I can say. And definitely if it is my house, I will do renovation and I'll try to develop my place also, definitely, right? But this guy Sher Shah Suri came from the out of area, and he established his Suri dynasty. We don't think so yeah, he is going to construct all those things, and he is a illiterate boy. How can we expect the things, these books, library like things from the illiterate guy? So this is one more instance. With this instance I can say the Sher Shah Suri, surely he didn't build this. This is built by Humayun. Okay, so then in the battle of Debra, Humayun won the battle and Sher Shah got defeated. In 1539 again Sher Shah Suri, triple S, he attacked on Humayun. That is called Battle of Chaos. It's a very important battle. In this battle Humayun get defeated. Humayun get defeated in the hands of Sher Shah Suri, and he ran to Kanauj. You already know about this Kanauj. When we were studying in 8th class, I already taken this part. When we were talking about Vishnuvardhana, the Vardhana dynasty, Kumaragupta, right? This is the part. If it is North India, let's say this is North India. Okay, in this part we find this. In this part we find Kanauj, right? Where we had a Rajasri of Prabhakara Vardhana's daughter. Rajasri got married the king of Kanauj. Later on, this has been took under the control of some other king of this part. And then again Vishnuvardhana attacks on him and he defeats that guy and he tries to conquer that area. Okay, from this point only Vishnuvardhana will rule all over the India and so not Vishnuvardhana, I told you that Samudragupta. Okay, that was the story I told you in 8th class, right? The same story. So the Sher Shah, this guy, after getting defeated in the hands of Sher Shah Suri, Humayun ran to Kanauj. So after that, this Sher Shah Suri didn't kept quiet. Now I will follow and I will kill you. So then what this Humayun did, he followed this guy. Now Sher Shah Suri, what he did, he followed. He was just settled here. Okay, see, he settled here, Kanauj. This is the place of Kanauj. The Sher Shah Suri followed him and he attacked on Humayun at Kanauj again. At Kanauj, that is the Battle of Kanauj. In the Battle of Kanauj, this Humayun defeated he got defeated. He lost everything in this war and he didn't had any option. So he left India and he ran to Iran. So from this point, so Iran, usually we are going to suppose this is India. So we have Iran here and he ran to Iran. He ran away to Iran. That's why his Humayun's, see here, Kanauj, Battle of Kanauj happened in 1540, right? So in the first battle, Humayun won against Sher Shah Suri. In the second battle in 1539, which is what happened, he got defeated in the hands of Sher Shah Suri. Then he ran to Kanauj. Then Sher Shah Suri followed him and he attacked him on Kanauj again, which is the Battle of Kanauj happened in the 1540. So in this war, Humayun got defeated completely and he lost everything. He didn't had any option to attack on this guy. He didn't had any strength. So Humayun went back to, he ran to Iran. He has been forced to leave India. So by this, the Mughal Empire has been removed completely from India from 1540. So from 1540 to 1555, there was no Mughal Empire. There was no Mughal Empire. So during this reason, we had a empire called Suri dynasty, which was the strongest dynasty. So under the rule of Sher Shah Suri. Sher Shah Suri was ruling. In some textbook, they added the Sher Shah Suri ruler to the Mughal ruler only. That is completely wrong. In some YouTubers also saying the same thing only. That is completely wrong. Sher Shah Suri is actually from Afghan. He defeated Humayun and he dethroned him and he made him to run away out of India. Then he established his dynasty called Suri dynasty. After his death, his son ruled it. That is, his name is Sikandar Suri. Okay. So then when he ran to Iran, this guy Humayun, okay, let me remove all these things. So I forgot to say one thing. This Deepanath city, what we have, right? This city has been constructed by Humayun in 1533. I just forgot to say this date. In 1533, he constructed this and he constructed this library. Okay, 1 minute, guys. Let me remove all these things. So let's see what happened when he went to Iran. It's a story of Iran. So when he went to Iran, So Iran actually was under the rule of the name king called Thomas. Shah Thomas was ruling this. Shah Thomas. Thomas. So maybe there may be a mistake in the spelling. Just go through the book, or if you don't find, you can ask me. So, but when he went to Iran and he requested a shelter because he wanted, because he has been attacking, he has been getting attacked by the Sher Shah Shuri continuously, right? So he was panicked. He got panicked and he went to Iran and he asked the shelter of Shah Thomas over there. And you should, guys, here you should look after one important thing here. This guy was Sunni Muslim. There are two sections in there in Muslim, that is Sunni and Shia. And this guy was Sunni region of Muslim. He was belonged to Sunni region of Muslim. But Shah Thomas was belongs to Shia Muslim section. So it is a kind of, and this guy gave, if you want to get shelter from my side, you have to convert yourself to Shia Muslim, then only I can give you shelter. The condition of Iran, Khalifa, the king is called as Khalifa. Usually this is the name we used to give, as we have given sultans for the Delhi sultanates, right? So in the same time, the king of Iran used to called as Khalifa. The Khalifa Shah Thomas gave this condition, put a condition that if you want to get a shelter from my side, you have to convert into our community called Shia Muslim. And anyhow, this guy didn't had any option to protect his life, so he accepted his condition and he converted to Shia. He was actually Sunni, and later he converted to protect his life. He converted to Shia, and he got shelter over there. So when he was staying over there, so when he left, actually in 1540 he left, right? So within a year, in 1541, so what happened here? There actually, he met a girl called, see here, this beautiful girl you can find here. One minute, guys. The people, students are attending meeting. I'll just allow them and I'll come back to you. Okay. 1 minute, guys. Be in a line. I'll just inform them. So in 1540 he left, right? In 1540 he went to Iran and he got a shelter from the Sher Shah Suri. In that when he was staying in Iran, he found a beautiful lady called as one. Who is trying to attack? Let them. Okay. So this lady you can see here, Hamida Banu. Hamida Banu. Actually, she was also a princess of Mongolia, actually, but due to some reasons he may have got a shelter from this guy. Will not worry about it. So if you go through it, you'll see. But you just remember this much. So Hamida Banu was staying in Iran's Khalifa's Shah Thomas court, and actually his origin is, actually she is also a princess of Mughal. Mongolia. So he met this Humayun met her, and because of maybe love story happened between these two things, and they got married in 1541. So this Humayun and Hamida Banu, H and H, married each other, and there was a rule that whenever you love and whenever you get married, you have to leave their place, so that it was actually the king Khalifa didn't force them, but it was the rule they were following tradition. So the king Khalifa put send them out of the, they throwed them out of the Iran. They throwed these Humayun and Farida Banu out of the Iran. So when he came out of the Iran, he didn't had any option, right? So, but one thing he has done a very good thing here is he had he had actually four brothers, and he didn't he respected his brothers. He gave he supported his brothers when he was ruling, when he was ruling the Mughal Empire in India. He respected his brother and he supported his brother. He made his brothers to the provincial heads. So that when he thrown out of the Iran because of this marriage story, so he was coming actually. 1 minute, guys. I just allow some few guys to the meeting and I'll come back to you. So didn't had any option. Then along with his wife, he came to Amarkot. Amarkot. So Amarkot was under the rule of Raja Veersal. This Raja Veersal gave them a shelter. Okay, when he was staying in Amarkot, thus his wife Hamida Banu gave a birth to boy. Gave a birth to boy. His name is called as Jalaluddin. Jalaluddin. Later, this guy is called as Akbar, and he ruled Mughal Empire for 49 years. Okay. So, in the palace of Veersal, Raja Veersal, this the Hamida Banu gave a birth to this boy. Now the problem of Humayun has been raised because he didn't had any house, and once he was a king, he was ruling a very large territory of India. So now now what is the case? His situation is very difficult now. So so what he did, he started thinking about his position. When he was started thinking about, he just came across his brothers. Okay. So he had four brothers actually. First himself, Humayun, and next we have Kamran. Then we have brothers. Then we have Hindal. Then the fourth one guy is Askar. So these two guys, Askar and Hindal, were has been appointed by Humayun as heads of the Meerut, and Kamran has been appointed as a head of the Lahore. Kamran has been appointed as a governor of the Lahore by the Humayun when he was ruling this part. So, and as we saw, so the Meerut is a part of India which is nearer to Kannauj. So definitely it has been under the control of Sher Shah Suri. So these two guys are also ran to, and they got shelter from his brother Kamran. So immediately Humayun came to know about his brother, and he came to Lahore there along with his wife and his son. He came to Lahore and he asked his brothers help to establish Mughal Empire back in India. So initially the Kamran he was not ready to accept. Then he talked with his other two brothers, Hindal and Askar, and he made them to say okay for that. Then these two guys talked with Kamran, and then what they did, they formed an army, very strong army. Along with that army, all of these four brothers attacked on Sher Shah Shuri. Sher Shah Shuri was not present here. Sher Shah Shuri was died, and now the Shuri dynasty was under the rule of Sikandar Shah. Sikandar Shah Shuri. Sikandar Shah Suri was ruling this. So now these four brothers attacked on Sikandar Shah Shuri at Battle of Sirhind here at the place of Sirhind. All of these four brothers with their large army, they attacked on Sirhind, Sher Shah Shuri in Sirhind in 1555. And in this war, they get succeeded. They defeated the Sikandar Shah Suri, and again they established their Mughal Empire in India. Later is the rest. After the death of Humayun, his son will become a king. That is his son, I told you, right? Jalaluddin. It's a initial name of Akbar. Okay. Later he has become famous as Akbar, and in the next chapter lesson we will discuss about Akbar. If you find my contents are good and the way of explanation is good, and if you guys like my video, please subscribe to my channel Vedas Point, and you can watch this video again and again in my YouTube channel. I request everybody to subscribe to my this channel. I'm gonna upload this video, every classes videos. I'm going to upload it to my channel called Vedas. Please subscribe to my channel and ask your friends to channel. If you like video is interesting and good one, you can share with your friends also. And this video is not only for class 9. This video is also for all the peoples who are preparing for all kind of examination, like say UPSC examination, KPSCs, FDA, SDA, any kind of the examination. It is useful, and definitely I'll assure that 2 or 3 questions, definitely maximum 2 questions will come from Mughal Empire in all these kind of examination. Please, you can share this information. If you like this video is good, and you can share with your friends. Thank you guys. We'll see tomorrow morning at 8:30. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.